Today on the Healing Chronicles, we're joined by Samuel Gegen, a business coach and sales mentor who works with founders not just on how to sell, but who they're being while they do it.
Samuel's journey is rooted in identity level change. He speaks openly about sobriety, confidence, and the internal rewiring that happens when you stop numbing, when you stop hiding and start taking full responsibility of your life.
We explore the relationship between sobriety and success, how belief systems shape income more than tactics ever could, and what really changes when people learn to trust themselves again.
This episode is for anyone who knows they don't need another strategy, they need a stronger internal foundation to build from.
So, welcome, Samuel, to the podcast. We are so happy to have you here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I've been following your journey, I think, for the last year on Instagram. And it's interesting because you are a business coach and sales mentor. So we kind of have different areas of expertise that we speak on, but there's so many parts of your journey and so many parts of what you do that resonate with what I do. And specifically, the identity work and the transformation that you facilitate in people. So I think that our audience will just get so much value from what you have to share.
Excited to bring it. I think when you mention identity work, I've looked at all the journeys I've been on from health, wellness, business, sales, leaving corporate. It all starts with how we choose to show up as. And so I'm really passionate. I'm like, what's the one commonality in all these things? And it's the identity work. It's how you're choosing to be during those moments. So I'm excited to dive in.
Why don't we kind of start a little bit with your story? I know you started actually with going to school, like your education is a Bachelor of Science in exercise science, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, you started down that path and then shifted somewhere down the road.
Yeah.
Why don't you start there?
Yeah. So many years ago, I was in school, in college. I started off in business because I've always wanted to make money. I don't know where this childhood trauma started from. I've worked through it with therapy, but I've wanted to make good money. So I started off in business in college and I'm like, this sucks. I hated it so much. And I'm like, I'm a generator. I don't know if your people do human design, but I do really well at things that I just I love. So I'm like, I really love exercise. Really love wellness. I'm going to get into this and I'll figure it out later. So I switched to exercise science. My grades went up. I started to do better. And ended up graduating with a degree in kinesiology. During this time, though, I was really struggling with alcohol. I was really struggling with binge drinking and alcoholism and all these things. So it's like I was doing okay, but I felt like my potential just wasn't there. So after college, I started personal training, and then I worked for KU Medical Center, and I did like weight management research, exercise testing, DEXA scans, stuff like that. And we worked for the National Institutes of Health. So we wrote grant funded research basically. I didn't do that because I was the research assistant. The PhDs did that, and I just worked for them. So when I graduated, I had a ton of debt, like 100K plus in student loans, my car, all these things. And after a few years of working, I'm like, I'm a hard worker, and I'm like, this sucks. I'm making crap money. I will never get rid of this debt. So I asked my boss for a raise, and he gave me 1%, which was $9 a paycheck. And I said, I'm going to go find another job because this is not it. And he makes this comment. He goes, I think you'd be good at sales. So I went and found a sales job, and it was actually between two. It was a sales job for pharma and then a sales job for infrared saunas. I wanted the pharma, higher base. You get a car, you get a laptop, you get a cell phone, you get all the cool, sexy stuff, right? I'm in my mid 20s. I'm like, this would be fun. I didn't get that job. My skirt wasn't short enough, so they picked the other woman. And then I ended up getting the infrared sauna job, which was the biggest blessing in disguise because I live my life from a natural, healthy, healing way. I'm not a pharma guy. I'm not a pop pill popping like pharma taking person. So at the time you don't realize it until now. I'm like, wow, this was great. So I started in sales at 27. and doubled my salary the first year. Um, and kept going. And then in 2016, I quit drinking. So I'm going on 10 years this year of being sober and no alcohol. And when I quit drinking, my career took off even more. I made six figures, and I just kept my income kept going up. My physical wellness kept going up, my mental wellness, all the things connected to this first identity shift, right? Like stepping into a life as a sober person. I always tell people it felt like I was like Bambi learning how to walk again. You have to learn how to do everything sober, socialize, talk to people, sell. That's why my confidence is so high, because I've had to learn to do these things without the influence of anything.
I listen to that and I hear like several layers of identity shifting. Like, number one, you started off in a field that you were interested in, that you're passionate about, but then you very quickly learned like I I have more potential than this. Like,
Totally.
this is not going to get me to where I want to be. And that was like shift number one for you.
It just reminds me of it was the first time in my life where it's like, Sam, no one is coming to rescue you. You always have to rescue yourself. You always have to save yourself. And I always look at people too as like, if someone's done it, that means there's a way. So it's like I'm all about finding the way to get shit done. Like always, there's a way to do everything. So it's more of like a no victim mindset. It's more of a empowering hero. I'm going to take control of this.
I was actually the
Absolutely.
girl whose skirt was short enough and got the farmer job.
Oh, look at you.
Would you say that getting the other sales position helped cultivate you into the person you are now?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think you could have easily gone the other way in terms of being alcohol dependent, going down the big pharma route?
Yeah, totally. I think so I got really burnt out with this corporate job. I was there for 9 years. I worked my way up the corporate ladder, made a lot of money. I was a leader too, so I would coach people. I coached salespeople, I trained teams, I built teams. But I was also in the wellness space, the real wellness space, like the real wellness space. So it totally changed my life in the terms of being around people that value health and wellness. So as I'm working up the ladder, I'm getting to go to all the fun like biohacking events. I got to go to Africa for an event. I got to meet Gwyneth Paltrow, and I went to the Goop headquarters. I've got to meet Dave Asprey and all these thought leaders in the biohacking space and do lives with them and podcasts with them. So hell yeah, like it allowed me to make a great financial impact on my life. I paid off all my debt, all of it, bought a house, bought a Range Rover, built people up. I coached 600 plus salespeople. So I'm in turn changing other people's lives. And I didn't know I could do that through sales. Like, but helping people become financially free is awesome. And how I coach people, I do more of the person coaching too with identity. And so a byproduct of, working with me is they get not just more sales, more money, but they also have a better mindset. I help them get into the gym because that's all part of it, right? So, hell yeah, it was like long story short, it was definitely it was a very life-changing job that I've had for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was a huge pivotal point for you because being in pharma, and this is where I feel like environment matters so much because being amongst corporates in big pharma, biotech, and medical device, they look like the most unhealthiest people in the world.
Totally.
And it's not about wellness, it's just about what drug does what, and then what drug helps fix that drug, etc., etc. And coming from a wellness space, it really was a big eye opener for me. Seeing that side personally and your side, I definitely feel like the route you went down was your calling, and I'm so glad that that happened for you. Yeah.
Thank you. I think too, it's just everything's meant to be. So, as someone asked me the other day, if you could change anything, what would it be? I said nothing. It all led me, it all led me to where I'm at. And it's great. It was the best thing that ever happened, rejections, redirection, right?
Did you then decide to start your own business off of the back of that sales role?
Yeah. Yeah. So I was at this company for 9 years, and I was a sales rep, and then a senior sales rep, and then a sales manager, and then I ended at director of business development for the last couple years. So I managed, built a team, and did $2 million our first year from scratch, which was great. But I just felt so bored, and I felt like I've gotten all the skills that I could get from this job. I mean, I've built the teams, I've made the money, I've helped take it from $14 million a year to $100 million a year company, and I'm like, I can do this for myself, and I can do it for others. So something that I love that I do now, I left in 2023, is help people that have a passionate vision-led business that are making a difference. I help them grow it. I help them sell it, because in my experience, I'm not going to sell my soul. I could go sell pharma. I could go sell houses, and there's nothing wrong with selling houses. But I feel like everyone's a real estate agent these days, at least here.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not something that's up my alley. Like, it's not something I'm interested in. And so the fact that I've made really great money, and it's not all about money, but the fact that I'm making really great money by and making a positive impact is what's important to me. I'm not going to go sell something I don't believe in. So it's fun working with people that maybe are hitting some of these roadblocks of getting people in on their coaching business, or with their own wellness products and stuff. So yeah, I do that now. I left May 2023. Me and my boss got into it. I've outgrown him. I've outgrown that company, and he basically forced me out, and which was so wild because I've done so much for that company. But I take it as a sign from the universe that I'm meant for something greater. So it was a way to get me going in the path that I needed to go on next.
Amazing. Did you have this confidence within you the whole time, or did you use alcohol to bring it out of you? And how did you kind of balance that out when you decided to give up alcohol altogether?
Yeah, good question. I'm more confident now than I ever was with alcohol.
Mm,
So I think alcohol gives us false confidence. It
yeah.
gives us a false perception of reality. And when I quit drinking, I went cold turkey. So I haven't done AA. I haven't done a program. Back in my early 20s, I've done AA. I've done some rehab that was court ordered. We don't need to go there yet. We can. I don't care. But when I woke up, it was November 14th, 2016. I'm like, I'm never doing this again. I'm not doing this again. I am not drinking. I am not that person. This is not part of my life. And I think the confidence started there and was built. So your confidence grows. I teach a lot of this in my program with people I work with, especially in the sales component. Your confidence grows the more reps you put in. So it starts with people inviting you out and you saying, no, I'm not going, right? And you do that over and over again, right? Then it becomes this confidence that just grows. It's a muscle that you're like flexing. So like now I can say no and I don't even think about it. Nope. Like, or just not respond, right? So so I think it's so high now because of all the things that I've had to turn down. I got to turn down all the shifts that I've made. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm in a place where my health and my peace and my mental is more important than anything, including saying yes to an invitation I don't really want to say yes to. I'll just politely decline it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's just it's not authentic, is it?
No,
Were you drinking every day?
not every day. So I would get in this cycle. It was like my binge cycle. I would start drinking probably on like for sure by Friday, but sometimes Thursdays. And I would go to the liquor store and get like a bottle of vodka, and I would drink it oftentimes by myself, taking shots. And then Friday I would wake up and I'm like still feeling it. I'd go to work, smelling like alcohol. Sometimes I might drink a little bit more, and then I'd go keep going Friday, and then Saturday's brunch. Saturday night we go out, Sunday more brunch, and then it's just like Monday I was like, I felt like a bus hit me. Like it was just the worst come down. I didn't eat much. Um it was a problem. It was a big problem in my life, and I can never touch it again because it would not end well. So I made the decision because it's like I saw my life, what it could be without it. And I'm like, I want that life.
What kind of person did you turn into when you were drinking?
The last time I drank, I made my mom cry. I stubborn, fun, but also crazy, selfish, mean. I've gotten fights, for sure. I
Yeah.
have a mouth. So alcohol kind of like, you know,
Brought out the worst side of you, really.
yeah, yeah, did not do anything good for me. It did not like not just who I was when I was drinking, but also like afterwards, right? I was depressed, anxious, lethargic. I was missing my workouts. I'm like, I don't want to live like this. I felt like I was not like after I would feel better from like a weekend, a big long weekend. It's like by Wednesday I would start to feel semi-normal again. And then Thursday I was good and then it's like start all over again. I'm like, I'm feeling so shitty or drunk 5, 6 days out of 7. What is going on here? That's not how I'm gonna live. Also, addiction runs really strongly on both sides of my family. I've lost a lot
Mm.
of members to drugs, alcohol, and yeah, I was just like, this is not it.
It's kind of like a coping mechanism, really, isn't it?
Totally.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, I think too something, I don't know, I'm gay. So I when I was younger, I knew I was gay very young. So it was my coping mechanism to get through life. I knew I was different. It was hard for me to get through not being able to be my true full authentic self. And that's like now it's like I'm confident, but I'm also authentic. I'm like, you take it or leave it because I haven't been able to be that for so long. So I used it as a crutch. From a small town in Kansas in the middle of the US, and people like drank, right? So I used it as a way to really escape. And I felt fearless when I was on it, like so yeah, coping is 100% accurate.
Yeah.
What
Yeah, that makes sense.
what do you feel like when you I think that's so common, the coping mechanism, like using alcohol as like a mask. What were you forced to feel once you took that away? Like what did you have to confront if you were to name the things that you had been coping or masking?
Mhm. Um, that's a good question. I was forced I think one of the hardest things is honestly having confidence, facing rejection, stuff like that in real life, in real time, under nothing. Because if you think about it, you have a drink and you have these social interactions, you're just a lot looser. Um, dating, dating was so hard, is still hard. I feel like sometimes it repels people, but in my head now, I'm like, good, get out of my life.
Because those aren't your people. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It repels the people that don't like it. What's not for you is not for you, right? So I think too, dealing with some of my insecurities, dealing with some of my trauma, dealing with some of my abandonment issues, dealing with stuff like in therapy, like it just shines a light on a lot of things. And for me, I took it one thing at a time. So like after I quit drinking, I was like, okay, I gotta avoid everything that I've done before. Like just the people, the places, the things. They say that a lot in AA. It's one thing I got from an AA class, or rehab, one of those. um, so I just kind of avoided, and I'm like, I'm just gonna focus right now on not partying and just making money. It was a busy time at work. I'm like, I'm just gonna focus on work, right? So it's kind of like shifting to a new addiction, a new transfer, right? Like, so I did that, and then after the fog lifted, I'm like, man, this is lonely. This is tough, especially when you're on social media and you see all the people going out and doing all the things. And that was my life. So you get a lot of FOMO. You feel like you're missing out. And I was just like me and my dog. So then I'm like, okay, maybe I should get into therapy. And that's where I got into therapy about a lot of things, but one thing at this point in my life we talked about was just like staying busy. Like I would just like stay busy instead of like sitting with myself and feeling the feelings. It was like I was just working or I was going to the gym or She goes, and I remember my therapist said this to me. She goes, when you're watching a Netflix show and there's a commercial on, what do you do? I'm like, God, she's baiting me with this one. I was like, well, of course I go get up. I have 3 minutes. I get up, I do some laundry. She's like, you don't just sit and watch the commercials. I'm like, no, that's 3 minutes. I can be doing something. She's like, I want you to start watching the commercials. I'm like, okay, fine. So I think that's kind of the culture now. Like I feel like people just they can't sit with themselves. They have to stay busy. They have to keep doing and doing and doing and doing, especially in America.
I think that that leads into like the people that we talk to and talk about on this podcast, people that are like on a chronic illness journey.
Yeah,
It's almost like because we can't sit in any sort of discomfort, like we become the project that we're perpetually trying to fix, And
totally.
it's instead of, whereas I think that that just creates like a snowball effect. Like
Yeah.
instead of learning to support ourselves,
Hmm.
we're constantly trying to fix everything about ourselves.
Totally. I think too, that brings me into a kind of a pivotal part of my life last year is I'll tell the people listening to this, if you don't slow down, if you don't sit with yourself, if you don't meditate and just be still, it catches up to you. And something I'm really good at is I'm good at pushing through. I'll just push. And last year I pushed. I was going through a lot and it caught up to me. I was in a meeting. It was in the middle of March and I stood up and ran out the door. I had a panic attack and I've never had them in my life. I felt like I couldn't breathe and I ran out to the door because I'm like, I felt like I was going to fall over. And I'm like, well, at least if I'm in the hallway, someone will find me instead of in my place. Right. So I just get up and ran out. And then my ex at the time came over, helped me through it, was fine. Then a few days later, I get up, little sleep, slam espresso, slam a pre-workout, go to the gym. Sure enough, happens again. This time I'm like blurry vision, heart rate's skyrocketing. So it was a very scary part of my life because I was like, I thought I was dying. Like in something I value my health so much. I have a degree in health. I live it. I embody it every day. Right. I quit drinking because a lot of it because of my health. Right. So it scared the shit out of me. And then I had another one. And so I was going through a lot business wise. I had a bad business deal that I lost a lot of money in. I was going through a crazy toxic relationship. I was launching my business, but I was also doing double pre workout, lots of caffeine, fasting. My sleep was off. And then I started to skip my morning routines and meditations, and just it catches up to you. So that lesson happened last year and it got me to really slow down. And I feel good now. And I think I've learned the tools and the skills to manage that and to where it doesn't happen, hopefully again. But it was scary, you know? And I want to share that too with people because if you look at my Instagram, you watch my stuff. Even a guy yesterday, he's like talking about being overwhelmed. I'm like, me too. And he goes, well, you don't show it. I'm like, but it's like, you might see my stuff and be like, oh, this guy's just got it all figured out, confident, crushing it, whatever. I'm like, no, I don't. I struggle too. Things are hard. Um, but you get through it. It makes you stronger too. I believe that. I think the lessons are always taught to make us stronger.
And it's like, have you ever heard the saying, new levels, new devils? Like as you grow and as you're becoming this high performer and you've got all this success, it almost um just propels that level of
Mhm.
workaholic, it almost makes you like, okay, I need to keep this up because if I don't keep performing at this level, everything's going to fall apart. It just kind of heightens and heightens.
Yeah. My best friend, she told me that. We talked about it last year. Another devil, another level, right? That's what she said. So, yeah, I mean, everything's a teacher. Everything's a teacher. I think something that really helps me through life. and I'll share this with your audience of people that are listening to it. If you're going through something really hard, I always have a reference point. So I think of other hard shit that I've done, other hard things that I thought I couldn't get through. And I remind myself, huh, you got through that too. Like with drinking was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, like quitting it. And I always like when I think about business and I think about others, I'm like, that's nothing compared to what I went through, quitting alcohol. So I think it's just a good reminder that if you're going through something hard, you've been through harder and you've gotten through that. And what I said at the beginning of the call, figure it out, find a way. I'm like, I didn't realize when I started talking to some friends and some people about panic attacks, I didn't realize how many people have had them. I didn't realize how common they were. But community got me through it. I would have not gotten through it without some of my friends. They're like, here's what you do. It makes you like feel so not alone. That's also why I do what I do with entrepreneurship and sales. I know how hard entrepreneurship is. I know how hard it is creating something and selling it and sticking to it. That's why I've built what I've built too, to support people from a community standpoint. So, moral of the story is one, there's a reference point of things that have been really challenging for you that you can go back to that shows that you can get through it. And then two, power and community, power and connection. I'll die on that mountain.
I feel like a lot of founders do feel like massively overwhelmed, and a lot of them lacking confidence if they haven't had the experience behind them and they're literally just starting out, even if they are like super capable. So, from your perspective, what do you think's really happening in that situation?
So this is what I know, and I've worked with a lot at this point, and I've surveyed them. I know them so well. I know them like the back of my hand. So here's what's happening. Founders have the skills. I've everyone that's come into my space that I've coached or have entered my program, they all have the skills to do it. Period. Like they have the skill set to facilitate the transformation or whatever it is they're selling. Here's what happens. One, they're overwhelmed. So they think they need to do all these things. That's like content, website, sales funnel, this, that, and the other, ads, like all of these things. Two, they avoid doing stuff that's actually moves the business forward, like selling. They're so afraid to sell themselves and their product. So what do is they don't do it. They waste time doing it the incorrect way. Three, lack of confidence. So they get in their head because they're not seeing the results, right? Like they're not, and you're not going to see it all. I tell people you're not going to see it immediately, but you'll see it eventually, right? So lack of confidence is huge. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown. I think for me, part of the reasons of my panic attacks, there was a lot of unknown in my life that just hit me like a bus. And we like constant, right? So it's like I'm unknown in my business, I'm unknown in my relationship. Now I'm unknown with my health. I was unknown if I wanted to live in Dallas, which I ended up moving. So it's like there was nothing that felt consistent in my life. And then when the panic attacks happened, I couldn't even do the one thing that I know, which was work out because I was so scared to get my heart rate up. So it's like the one thing that keeps me like, whoo, I felt like I couldn't even do it or do it well. So I think founders get in their heads way too much. I think something that I provide too that really helps a lot of them is understanding how sales work. So not only do I help people like make more money, I help them save a lot of time because having a sales process and knowing what to do is so much better. But also I want to say this is people have a connotation of selling as something bad.
Oh,
So
yeah, massively. Yeah.
the first part of that is you have to flip the script. So I always say, selling is not bad, it's serving. And honestly, if you take someone's money, the more you take that energetic exchange of money is a bigger transformation. I know when I've paid a lot of money for something, I've gotten a better transformation than if I paid none or little. How many freebies have we downloaded where we've never read? How many low tickets have we downloaded where we've never done? But shit, if I'm giving someone $5,000, $10,000, my ass is there on time. I'm getting the return. So it's all about changing that dialogue with the founders too. Yeah, I would say that's my evaluation of it.
What do you see from an identity level as like common themes with the people you work with? And how do you facilitate that identity level transformation? Because That is huge. People hold on to their identities, whether they're serving them or not. They hold on to that like, with a white knuckle grip.
They grip it. They think that they are one, not worthy of success, not worthy um that people would pay for their stuff. From an identity level, I think people get into the thoughts of what other people think and what they've been labeled as and how they can take off the label and change it however they want. You know what I mean? Like, I've struggled with it too. When I first left, I'm like, what am I doing? I feel like a fraud. I feel like I don't belong here. But then I'm like, I had to constantly tell myself, Sam, dude, you sold $150 million. How could you not help people like in this space? You've done it. And so I always tell people too, let's stack up. Like, a first exercise I would do with someone is like, let's stack up your proof you have as of now.
Yeah, that
And you know what I mean? Right?
imposter syndrome is a bitch.
It's a bitch, right? So I have one of my amazing clients. Her name's Tori. She does hormones for perimenopausal women. And I'm constantly reminding her, I'm gassing her up that because she's helped me with a few things. I'm like, girl, not with like menopausal hormones, but health. um, but I've been gassing her up. And then yesterday she had a sales call and she goes, Sam, I want to thank you because my confidence was out of this world. This lady's like, she's told her, she's like, I know I can help you. When in before it was like, I think I can help you. It's like she went from I think to, girl, I can help you. Let's do this. Like, because she stacked up the evidence that she's gotten for herself and for others for free or for her current role in a job, right? So people think they need to prove that they can do it for themselves and in their own business, but it's like you have the proof already. Now it's just doing it on your own terms.
Mm. And asking for the sale, a lot of people find just so uncomfortable, don't they?
So uncomfortable. And it's not just that, it's asking for it a few times. Like I told her, she was talking me through her sales call. I was like, sometimes you have to ask for it a few times after you ask for it and they object and you handle the objection, ask for it again. Right.
Yeah.
There's ways to do it. The thing that I love is when I teach people how to sell, I teach them the right way. Because selling is problem solving, right? It's solving a problem. So it's like, hey, Amanda, do you think I can solve your problem? She goes, yes. I'm like, cool. Let's get you rocking. I would love to help you. Here's how you sign up. She goes, yes, or she goes, no. And I say, what? Well, if it's a no, why not? Let's talk about it. Like, let's figure it out together. I want you to feel good about this. And then she says that, and I'm like, okay, now let's sign up. And she goes, no, now this. And I'm like, okay, let's talk about it. So I'm just like keeping, solving her problems as we go. But if you know your product is good, I think that's another thing I work with people to is get grounded and anchor in the fact that you're good at what you do. You're good at what problem you solve. And if you're solving a problem and you're really anchored in that, you're going to sell more of it. I know my program's good. I know my coaching's good. So it comes across as that as you're that confident expert. I think that's another thing is they don't have the confidence that they need to have. But that takes doing the hard shit, having the calls, getting rejected, having the awkward moments, having the awkward conversations. Once you go through that, I told Tori, I was like, it's the initiation process. This is just initiating you into greatness. Keep going, you know?
Yeah, the more reps, the better you get. Going back to what you said at the beginning.
Well, girl, when I did my first sales calls, they were horrible. My first sales team meeting as a manager, horrible. My first online event, not good. Like you get good by being bad first. That's just
Yeah.
part of it.
But people avoid failure like the plague and are so afraid of failure. I used to be that person. When I was younger, I was like, if I wasn't confident in the fact that I could do something perfectly, I wouldn't even try because the thought of doing something imperfectly or failing was like death to
Yeah.
me.
Once again, when I said about the reference point of earlier about hard stuff you go through, this is the same thing with any new skill you're learning. I always tell myself, well, shit, I was bad at sales calls before. I was bad at juggling. I can juggle, by the way. I was bad at juggling. You have to learn. You have to learn, right? So you can always one thing I've mastered that's really good for me, and I encourage everyone, is how do you talk to yourself? You have to be able to coach yourself, and you have to be able to talk to yourself. I'm pretty in good shape now, and I was not always this way. I remember the first time in the gym when I was lifting 10-pound weights, like everything is a process. And if you can fail quicker, you'll get there quicker. But you got to fail first.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely went through
absolutely.
all of that with my business. Did you, Amanda?
Oh, yeah. I think so many layers of like fear of failure, imposter syndrome, being afraid to put yourself out there. What will people say? Like so many things, so many layers of it.
I'm going to say
Yeah.
this about imposter syndrome real quick is what's helped me is this is I've my first coach, amazing. I love her. But I get into her container in her program and I'm like, this program's messy, but she provided me a lot of value. It got me realizing that you don't have to be perfect to start, right? Start messy, get really messy with it. But girls, I see a lot of people doing a lot of shit and I'm like, I'm better at this than you are. Like it like when you're good at what you do, right? Like I'm not trying to talk down on people, but I just see people doing a lot of things. Like I went to an event here in Austin and it was mediocre. I'm like, I could do a better event than this. So it's almost like positively reinforcing that you belong,
And that
right?
self-belief, yeah.
Yeah. You belong in this space. And I think one of the reasons I went really harder with the sales piece is because that's how I built my career. I'm genuinely in love with it. I'm very good at it, but I also see a lot of people that need a lot of help in that area because they have a lot of these problems with the confidence, the imposter syndrome, the sales skills, the sales processes, and I can add a lot of value in that space, especially to creators wanting to like make a difference. So that's like my mission that I've really anchored in on. It's not just like sell. It's like it's this whole beautiful movement for people that want to work for themselves, make great money, great income, and do things on their own terms, making a difference.
And it's so different when it's a passion-led business and not like a corporate sales training where people are just switching off the lights. And these guys want to actually help other people and excel in their expertise. It's just on another level. So it must give you a lot of fulfillment that way too.
It does. Yeah. Well, it's just like one of my clients I talk about now, Tori, it's like she's working um as a PA in a hospital and she's this person that hates it because she's like she hates the overhead lights, the blue lights, and she's like she's grounding every day and she's so like on the opposite spectrum. I want to help her get out of there.
Yeah. Because you know that that's making a difference in her life on another level. It's not just helping her make more money or make more sales, right?
It's the money she's making where she can leave because she just had another baby, so she has two kids. Um, and it's the impact. The money is like the byproduct. So for her to have the money, she can leave the job so she can build something that's going to impact a lot of women and spend time with their kids and do all these things. Like that's what it's really about. People, it's not just like money. It's we have to have the money. Let's not forget that. Like we have to live, right? We have to eat.
Just from a safety perspective, like we talk about nervous system safety, nervous system regulation all the time because it's so fundamental to health. And if you are in a state of fear and stress constantly around money, that has a negative impact on your nervous system.
That's a lot of the work I do in my program too is around stuff like that as well. And I remember when Tori came to me, we set limitations on ourselves. I was like, what do you need to make to leave? She goes like $4,000 a month is what I want to make. I'm like, that's it. Like I was like, that's the starting point. So let's get the starting point. And then a few weeks ago, she goes, I'm gonna make six figures this year. And it was just such a beautiful belief shift because that just means she's gonna be impacting a lot more women that are really struggling with their hormones. So anyways, people have a perception around money, and it's a lot of that childhood wounds, right? It's a lot of the ways we were raised around the scarcity. And, money's printed every day. It's out there, it's abundant, just like anything else. You have to change the relationship with it. I love all this safety and nervous system talk, but I'll say another mountain I will die on is sitting there and just like closing your eyes and dreaming about money and feeling it in your body is great, and it's a part of it, but a big part of it is doing shit. I think about when I started to make really great money, I wasn't doing this nervous system shit. I would change my identity.
Yeah.
I came into the sales organization. I said, "Who's number one? I'm going to be number one." That's all I did. And then I'm like, "What does the number one person do here?" Well, first they wake up early, they go to the gym, they get there early, they hit the phones. This girl came in to me, and it was me and her working every morning at 8 a.m. We're the only people on. She would come up and bitch about how much she hated this job. I'm making calls while she's like venting to me. And I'm like, I want to make money. You keep talking. I'll take these leads then. You're not working. I'll work. So it goes back to the identity. Like, decide you're going to make more money. Decide you're going to start a profitable business that's going to impact people. I had a call the other night, and the guy's like, I just don't sell. Like, I don't believe in selling. So we started talking about it. And he does hair and he has his own coaching business. He goes, I do hair, and they pay me a lot of money. I'm like, okay, tell me about that. He goes, well, I've been doing it for 4 years and I'm great. And I just charge quality prices. I'm like, oh, so you sell. It's just the stories we tell ourselves.
Sales
It's, yeah,
literally makes the world go round. Yeah.
it makes, and we're selling every day.
Hmm.
It's what it is. Embrace it. Just like with I believe in manifesting. I believe in all these things. To me, manifesting is just your belief systems, right? Selling, it's there. You can choose to embrace it and go with it, or ignore it.
Mm.
Ignore it doesn't mean it's not there.
No, and then that kind of leads on to someone's perception of sales and whether they think it's some kind of like double glazing, sleazy transaction that annoys people when, like you mentioned, it's actually not that at all. It's the complete opposite. But so many people just have this really poor perception of sales and what it means. And I think that's kind of where the toxicity comes into it.
Yeah.
On a side note, going back to the drink thing, are you able to go out and not drink now, or do
Yeah.
you find that quite hard?
No, I can. I'm actually. I believe there's one thing I know. I've gotten really into neuroscience and neuroplasticities. We can really rewire our brains. We can rewire our brain chemistry. Alcohol has zero appeal to me. I don't miss it. It grosses me out. Like, it's just not it. It's not it. And I've positively reinforced myself enough to know that what would happen if I had that drink. And the story's not nothing good.
Yeah. Was the first protocol saying no then to going out, would you say, to kind of just eradicate it completely? And
Yeah,
now
I would
you're in a much, yeah.
Yeah, it's a different space. I would say early on, of course, I would not put myself in those situations. I think early on, your environment matters more. Your environment matters the most for most things in life.
Mm.
Changing your environment will change everything. But when it comes to quitting drinking or alcohol, your environment's got to be the first thing you need to figure out. And that includes the people you're around and the space. Another thing, when I quit drinking, one of the first things I did is like, I need to move out of this apartment because that's so many negative interactions and experiences with alcohol there. I want to change my environment. And I think that's such a powerful thing to do, because I remember reading this Jay Shetty book, and he talks about that our environment holds energy and holds space for our memories. When I first quit drinking too, it was hard to go to my parents' house because there was a lot of times I would sneak alcohol in. I would drink in the morning or, at their house, and like, it just brought up a lot of bad stuff, right? So think changing the environment's crucial to any journey. Just like, think about business, think about going for your goals. If you're around shitty, negative people, that makes it that much harder.
Here in London, the culture is really geared around alcohol and going out drinking after work or entertaining clients or whatever that might be. But there is such a large culture around drinking here. I feel like it's quite hard for especially men who can't get out of their job, who can't just stand up and quit, to get out of that culture because it's their life. It's what they do 9 hours every single day. Yes, they want to go to the gym, but a lot of men find it really, really difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. That is discipline and willpower. I wear that like a badge of honor. If someone asked me, like if I went out and people asked me for a drink, I would gladly say no. And if they think it's weird, beautiful. I'm doing something right.
Love that.
You're comfortable fitting out instead
Yeah,
of fitting in.
well, my close people in my life get me. I'm not going to convince someone to get me. I'm not going to convince someone that I'm for them or not for them. I'm going to be who I am. They can take it or they can leave it. If I were to have a job like that, I would do the job without drinking and I would kick all of their asses because I would be so clear-headed, right? I could do it all sober, right? So it's all about how you look at things, and people say that they want stuff and they don't take an action. They don't want it that bad. I want to go to the gym. Go to the gym. Shut up and put up. Like go to the gym. Like if you want it, you do it. That's just how I live my life. So
Yeah, identity isn't enough. It's like the action. I would say that identity is step one, but action and putting in the reps is what builds the confidence over time.
absolutely. I talk a lot about that in my program and with my people. I say this in every section they listen to, they hear, or when we're on a call. Don't take notes and not do anything with this. I don't want to see that. Like, go put it into play. I want to hear about you failing at this. I want to
Yeah.
hear about the experience you had. And just like Tori yesterday, she had our sales call. She goes, I would have never said these things if it wasn't for you. And we talked about how it made her feel. She goes, actually, it wasn't that bad. And then like, okay, here's how we take it to the next level. So now she's going to do that on our next call. But anyways, she's going to figure it out because she's doing the things. And she's going to be one of the most successful students that I have of last year because she's doing the shit. Right. So talk is cheap. Talk is cheap.
Well, and we live in an age now where information is overabundant, whether it's true or not. It's flying at us from all angles. Yet so many people still feel like, I just need more information. I just need to research this more. I just need to like go down some more Google rabbit holes
So
and then that's going to help me. And every day that that goes on where you're just sitting there searching for more information is another day lost where you're not taking action.
doing stuff. You will learn more by doing stuff. You'll learn more by experience than anything Google can tell you or Chat GPT. Listen, I'm revamping a lot of my program and I was using Chat GPT a little bit and then I made the decision today. I'm like, I'm doing this without her because I need to use my create. I was like getting in these blocks. I'm like, oh, because it's telling me to do this. I'm like, that doesn't feel right. I need to do this. I'm like, fuck this Chat GPT. I'm gonna use my own brain for this. I got what it I know what I need to do, right? So we live in a world where we're being conditioned to not think and do.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
think themselves and take action. I learned more in my professional career in sales than any of my schooling ever. I learned life skills.
Oh yeah, you do because you're speaking to such a wide variety of people, and that in
Learning
itself brings out confidence.
you're learning confidence, rejection, communication, grit. I got paid more the more results I produced,
And
right?
also
Like
in sales, the harder you work, the more you get paid. So
literally
that's cultivating a good work ethic.
that's why I got into it because when I was working my previous job, making the same, I was making crap. Like it was like 35 grand a year. And I'm like, I had 100 grand in debt. I'm like, and I'm working my ass off. I'm like, this, and the math is not math in here. I need to make the math work for me. And it was very rewarding. I knew how much my bosses made. It was very rewarding when, at one point in my career, I was making triple what my boss was making. So that was nice.
How do you balance, like, if you've got such a strong work ethic, how do you balance something like relationships into the mix?
Like dating or friendships,
Yeah. Dating, friendships, lovers.
lovers. Oh my gosh, I do my best. In terms of people in my life, I have a handful of really close people. I'm not a quantity person. I'm a quality. I know a lot of people though. So as you get older, I feel like you categorize people where they belong. Like some people are really close, some people are just connections, some people are surface level. In terms of like lovers and dating, I find it very challenging. Um, but I'm also, it's not a priority. I believe that my partner will arrive at the perfect time in the perfect situation. I'm just trusting that's how it's going to work. I'm not perfect. However, I've done a shit ton of work on myself. So there's just things that in relationships I just don't want to tolerate. Like I don't tolerate lying, I don't tolerate miscommunication. I don't tolerate being like not being upfront. Um so I think I balance it really well. I've also gotten really comfortable with my alone time. Like I cherish I'm a Capricorn. I love my alone time. I love just I don't know. I feel pretty good. I don't know. I just trust it's all gonna work out.
Yeah.
It's, you know?
I suppose you put so much energy into other people through the work that you do. You need that alone time to actually recharge and ground yourself. So that part is also really important that people who are go-getters do forget to do.
Totally. I think it's a balance. I think sometimes I sway on the too alone time too much, and I know I need to sway into more connection and more community. And I live in Austin, Texas now. If you guys ever want to come visit, it's a great hub for wellness and fun. I'm sure you've heard about it. So
Mhm.
it's a fun place that I actually do have been building really great connections because I'm meeting a lot of like-minded people. But I feel like if someone's too social, to me, that's a red flag. Someone that always has to be everywhere, do everything, hang out with everyone. I don't like that. Friend to all is a friend to none, period. So I feel like I can be over here on this loner side too much, but I'm actually stepping into more of like finding that middle ground. Um, but I'm never going to be that person that has to do. Because for me, fun is going to a sound bath, is to go on a hike, is to get some sunshine, go on a trip, not social butterfly stuff.
I went to Austin, I found it was really good for like entrepreneurs. It's like there was quite a big hub of people that can lean on each other, and it was a really nice environment actually.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good time.
It was Pride as well, so it was very cool.
Oh, yeah. Austin, Pride's fun. Austin is also very, they say Austin's like, keep it weird, right? So that's the slogan here. There's a lot of weirdos here, but it ends so perfectly.
I feel like I would
Yeah.
like it just based on you
You,
saying that.
you would love it because
If the
you're
slogan
like,
is "Keep it weird," I'm there.
well, it's people that you can connect with. It's easy. It's like there's a lot of people that are doing their own business. There's a lot of people here for that are running around freaking barefoot, healing their nervous systems and going to sweat and cold plunge and do this new wellness activity and it's very outdoorsy. So yeah, you would definitely love it.
Nice and warm as well.
It's warm.
Yeah, we've got
It's
full
warm.
on blizzard here today, so I'm looking out my window at a snowstorm. Austin sounds lovely.
It's so nice.
So, Sam, where are you? Where do you see yourself going this year? I know that creating a vision that you can move toward is big for you. So,
Yeah.
what are your big goals if you are willing to share them with
Yeah,
us?
of course. So I want to continue to help a lot of founders, entrepreneurs, and creators create and build their business and sell like confidently, authentically, genuinely, and unapologetically too. Like it's okay to want, I support their goal. If they want to make 10 grand a month, let's do it. If they want to make 20 grand a month, I support that. I also want to get into impacting more. I really want to grow my podcast, which is called $1 Million Seller. And get into speaking. I want to get on a stage and start speaking with people because I just see that in my vision. It's on my vision board and I want to have a big impact. I always said I wanted to be like the gay Oprah. So let's bring it to life. Hey,
Is that
Oprah.
is that
Um,
a little bit scary for you? Like that goal of speaking on a stage? Is that comfort level or is that outside comfort level?
no, that's scary for sure. I think it's been scarier too, especially since having like panic attack episodes. But once again, there's a way, right? There's always a way. So now it's just finding that way. I think what's scary to me is we have this urgency culture, and I would have liked to have been doing it by now, but I'm just trusting in the process. I think last year the lessons came to me that I needed to learn to prepare me for those moments, right? About a lot of the anxiety, the panic attacks, the nervous system regulation. Now I just need to regulate it to get comfortable at speaking. I'm fine virtually, I'm fine like this, but in person it's a little different, you know?
Yeah. But once again, that goes back to the reps thing. This past year, I wanted to get better at in-person speaking. And I happened to get hooked up with this guy locally who does this speaking group where you can go and it's like 12 people in a room and each person has 5 minutes to talk about anything they want. And after going 2 times, I was like 75% better,
Mhm.
like not afraid, not sweating through my shirt like I was the first time.
It's the reps, and I'm fortunate I found some people here, some friends that I'm cultivating relationships with. They want to get into speaking more, so there's like, let's go to Toastmasters, let's do this. And I'm like, okay, I'm there. Like, it's that accountability. Let's do this together. But it reminds me of all the other things I've done that, like I said in the beginning, is that I've not been good at. And I think when I get up there and speak, I don't think it's going to be horrible. But to get to the level I want to get to, I have to put in the reps. You gotta put up or shut up, right? I think that's just it.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say, do you have any final kind of words of wisdom that you'd like to share with our audience in the realm of anything we've talked about today?
Yes. I think about all the journeys I've been on, and I've been on a lot. I feel like I've lived a lot of lives. This year I turned 40 and 10 years sober. And all of my journeys have a few things in common. And if you're hearing this and you're like, where do I start? The starting point is you decide. You decide what you want, who you're going to be, and then you start showing up as that person, period. That has been when I've quit drinking, when I've got into sales. I just said this earlier. I quit job call. I said that day I woke up, I'm like, I'm not doing this again. When I got into sale, I'm like, who's number one? I'm going to be number one. Guess who is number one? Guess who doesn't drink? I'm going to leave and start my own business. Guess who left their business? I'm going to get out of Kansas. Guess who moved out of Kansas? I'm going to start a podcast. Like, when you decide, make it a yes, and then say yes to things that align with that and no to everything that doesn't. And people struggle with the no part because they want to accommodate everyone else. This is your life, your one life. I'm not going to accommodate other people over my vision. Doesn't mean I'm not going to like, I have good friends and I'm very loyal and I'm a good friend. I'm a good loyal friend. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying, fuck everyone else, like what I'm saying is make the decision, decide what you want, and say yes. Don't fucking no, don't say maybe, don't say tomorrow. Say yes and start moving. And also the small shit matters. I think about what I do now. It all started with small changes, right? Like my wellness journey. It started up with waking up a little bit early and working out before work, right? Then it's like my workouts got better, my nutrition got better. Then I got into meditation. Then I got like start small, and the small shit matters. But choose yes and then start showing up as the person. That's it. That's it. That's what I
It's so
got.
simple,
It is very simple.
but
It
it's
is
not
very
easy.
it's not easy, right? Simple but not easy. We're very capable. We're very powerful beings. People forget somewhere along the way, people get forget who they are and they get lost. But you can be found, as cheesy as that says, like find yourself, and we're very powerful. You just have to remove those limitations.
For anyone who resonates with what you're speaking about and what you're teaching, where can they find you?
Yeah, so you can get me on Instagram, Samuel Gegen. You can shoot me a DM. You can email me support@samuelgegen.com as well. I'd say Instagram's probably the easiest way to connect with me. I imagine maybe you guys will link it in the description.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. I have to weed through the thirsty messages though. So be direct. Be direct. Be direct now. I know. We're multidimensional humans. I know.
Your
And
thirst traps. Yeah.
gosh,
Oh,
God
is that
help me.
right?
Is that right? We'll connect after this, Katie.
Yeah, okay.
We'll connect on the
I'm down for
socials.
that.
Like
Hello.
that. Yeah. Little thirst don't hurt anyone.
It's part of the game.
Part
Yeah.
of the game, right? It's part of the game.
Well, it's been an absolute
Well,
pleasure, Sam. Thank you so much. And yeah, we'll add all your details into the show notes so people can find you. And yeah, I look forward to watching your journey unfold this year.
thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'm
Thanks
excited.
for being here. This was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Thank you, ladies.